like this, perhaps more people would listen to me. Do you get what I'm saying, Goku? With this accent, I know everything. Every single fucking thing. If I speak like this through every video, I am more intelligent. Do you get it? Yes. Now where's my tea? Pepe? Pepe, please. Pepe, please. Let's get professional, everybody. All right, I follow this man. Bellular News, really cool dude. Love his reporting style. Very fresh, very tight. Love it. Everything he does, amazing. If you're not following Bellular News, check this dude out. Definitely worth a subscribe. Plug to Bellular. I've been following him for quite a few years. And he's talking about something I've noticed in the Star Wars community. This game has so many different takes on it. This game is being perceived in so many different fascinating ways. People are shitting on it. People are having sex with it. People are doing crazy things to Star Wars Squadrons right now. It's everywhere. It's like a Pollock painting. Maybe it's a little too highbrow to talk about that. Anyhow, it's fantastic. The amount of wild perception on this. It's something I haven't seen in a long time. So I said to myself, who do I go to kind of understand why? Besides myself, you know. And that's why I'm going to Bellular News. I want to see if we can understand this together. So let's just watch this and see what's up.
Hey everyone, and welcome to an industry report that honestly is a bit odder than I thought. You see, Star Wars Squadrons is out, and the impressions are actually incredibly mixed. Now, the pro reviewers are rating the game quite highly indeed, I would say, but many enthusiasts are expressing dissatisfaction. I mean, just look at the Steam reviews. Now, the critics are praising the game for many things. The immersive gameplay, the depth of the content, and just above all else, really, how it seems to really succeed in making you feel like a Star Wars pilot. And from playing myself,
I like the fact that they kept things very retro. Let me just say, like, I do compliment them. I compliment Electronic Arts for keeping along that retro feel in the cockpit. I really do.
Yeah, I've certainly got a lot of pros, but also some cons. Now, it's also a game that is... In the past, if you thought in the past, it would be odd for EA. No microtransactions, and it's a budget-ish AAA costing $40. You do have to wonder, is this, along with Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, is this a bit of a new era for EA? You do have to wonder. Okay, so we're going to get into that today. Obviously, hit that subscribe button, you can get more content, and we're going to be focusing a bit more, I think, in the future on game-specific videos like this one, or No Man's Sky one, or New World one, things like that. So if you want that, hit that sub button. Otherwise,
by the way, there's a wonderful No Man's Sky video on my channel where we talk about the sound effects of a volcano. It sounds like this. Hold on a second. Thank you. That's all I have to say about that.
Let's jump in. To get you quickly caught up with the context of this game, it was confirmed in June, but it had been leaked quite a bit before that as Project Maverick, and basically while they were working on the, I think, pretty terrible Battlefront 2 campaign, the team at Motive thought about doing a old-school feeling Star Wars flight sim, and eventually they got the higher-ups to sign off on it. And then, of course, for this game, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter and Rogue Squadron were the big points of inspiration, so that's essentially how it all came together, and that is against the backdrop of EA's initial Star Wars efforts not doing particularly well, but then the likes of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order doing very well and really just making people happy. So that's essentially the context of this game. Let's then hop into the reception and my own thoughts. We're going to kick that off with what we all heard first, the pro reviews, and then I suppose how the user reviews tell a different story. So the game went down super well. It was praised for immersive gameplay and, the many ways that it accommodates players as well. You've got great, control scheme customization. You've got a lot of, customization over the sim-like elements in your UI. That's all pretty good. So, thumbs up.
Is this normal that Polygon and Kotaku can't even put up a fucking score? Is there some reason why we don't see a score from them yet? What is going on? Since when has a game review company not actually put out a review? I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding something there about that.
For those things. Now, the critics did say that the single-player narrative was a little bit flat in terms of interactivity,
okay. All right.
but that,
Thank you,
it's not really an RPG, and it tells a fun little side story within Star Wars that does have some cameos that people would like. And then, of course,
why
the thing
would
is
they
the
score?
Always did.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to that. Why, if you are a source for gaming information, are you not putting some type of score from playing it? Like, that is so centrist. That is such a centrist thing to do. Like, just have the balls to put out your analysis and play the game and put it out there. Like, what is going on? They do long reviews, but they don't put a number on anything. That's I don't know if I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, come on. I mean, let the balls come out. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, right? Like, let the balls come out. Since when? Like, this is so scary to see a world where people are just like, not balls out, everybody. That doesn't sound right.
Say that the multiplayer modes would be the meat of the experience with this game. So essentially for the critic reviews, it boils down to this. It's a focused game with a pretty tight, basically tight reins over the content that it delivers, and that ultimately it does succeed in doing that sort of Star Wars hotshot pilot fantasy. What about my own thoughts? I'm going to do that before we talk about the Steam reviews. Well, the HOTAS support is not good. If you want to play this game with a flight stick, it just needs a patch. There is a big dead zone issue, which essentially means that you always end up having to oversteer, where initially as you are moving your stick, basically the controls don't kick in, and it basically just feels like the sensitivity
we heard that from
takes a
some of our
massive
members.
amount of time to ramp up, and right now there's no control over that. Now that basically does mean that this is just not a great gameplay experience if you are using HOTAS. Now that may vary with different HOTAS setups, but at least with the X52 and the Thrustmaster 16000, I've both seen common complaints with those.
Although I did see one of our members say they had a good experience with the HOTAS. It might have been you. Was it you, Apollo? I think you told us. I think you told us that you were having a good experience. I'm not sure if it was Apollo or not, but I remember reading in the Discord today that somebody actually did. I've heard mixed, and again, I'm even hearing mixed reviews on HOTAS. On the HOTAS, you use the X52. Yeah, I'm even hearing people saying it's great and it's bad with HOTAS setups. Like, it is just so all over the place with this title.
Certainly as compared to other HOTAS games that I've played, it doesn't really feel great, doesn't feel that responsive, and that certainly is an issue. And because of that, to be totally honest with you, I'm not going to play this game until it's patched, because the controls and the way that I want to play it just don't really feel great.
I
also,
absolutely
the
agree.
campaign content seems decently lacking. We did know the campaign wouldn't be massive, but yeah, it does feel a bit more budget. It does feel like essentially an extended tutorial. But that said, it is a decent.
Yeah, but let's be real too. It's only $40 also. I mean, it's $40, but it's lower price point initially than a lot of other Star Wars titles, so, there's something to be said in that, and they'll continually update as well. What's up, Eagle? Thanks so much for that subscription, bro. Thank you so much for that subscription. Let's see.
Decent bit of fun, but I'd say not worth $40 if you were only there for the single-player experience. I will say, though, the fundamentals are there. The ships are cool, the graphical presentation is really great, you've got lots of different loadouts, and that basically means it is set up to give...
No, I get what you're saying. Like, Booch is like, there's no standard of scoring, but, like, the lack of a score from a company that focuses on content that's gaming is pretty pussy, though. You know what I'm saying, Boocha? Like, I mean, at least have a system in which you can, easily go to and say, okay, this is my opinion on it. Not an SJW review of the game, so you're not offending people. Like, Jesus, on a pogo stick. Like, give me somebody who's not afraid to put out a fucking score. You know what I mean? Like, it's just beyond me why it gets to the point where, like, everybody's afraid to offend people. God damn. It's so refreshing when people don't care about that to me. Like, that's the kind of content I want to see. That's where I want to get my information from. Somebody that puts it out there, that puts their balls out.
give you that Star Wars dogfighting experience if you want it.
Bear.
Now, what I will say is the flight model is not really to my tastes. I'm a lot more used to, say, Star Citizen, which, at least with the ships that I fly, is extremely responsive, super fun, especially when you get into the more hardcore sim-like elements of its flight model. It's just, I think it feels great. So
flight experience is getting better.
I'd say overall the flight model feels slower and a bit more weighty. I think that's probably something that makes sense if it is trying to target a more kind of general broad audience. Overall, though, for the game itself, I'd say it's a simple, clear, and unambitious game. And I actually use unambitious as a bit of a compliment here, in that it does seem like it knows exactly what it wants to do, exactly who it is for, and it just wants to go and execute on that vision. Take Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That was an unambitious game, right?
Right.
I mean, it was just a hodgepodge of things we've seen in other games, but it was brought together in a great way with a great presentation, and it was just a really solid experience if that's what you wanted. So I am totally down for more games like that, but right now for Star Wars Squadrons, I think there's a game there that I could quite like, very like, perhaps. There is a game there, but the HOTAS support needs to be a bit better. That's the main blocker for me. Now, of course, that's not a good thing to have happen at launch, and this just should have been picked up in QA. Now, for me, it doesn't seem like it's literally just a dead zone to like 50% or something. It just seems that the sensitivity curve in the dead zone is just so glacial that it feels that way, which, if that is a design decision, does seem a little bit off to me. Certainly, I feel drunk when I'm playing this game as compared to other HOTAS games that I've played. So that's my overall opinions. Let's hop over, though, to Steam. The Steam user rating is 60%. That's pretty rough, and if you go through it, there's a lot of unhappy HOTAS players, which does make a lot of sense. Now, people are talking about other things, like the out-of-ship, sort of segments where you're talking to the characters, being unpolished, and there's issues with player scale in VR that are there in 2D as well, because your character is, tiny. It's really, really weird how the scale feels. Now, to me, those are just not a part of the experience that I even care about, so it wouldn't factor too much in a review for me, but they are bits of the game, and they clearly are a bit more budget feeling. Also, the length of the campaign, again, that's something that comes up. Don't go to this game if you want a long, in-depth campaign. This, I would say, treat this as a multiplayer game. So overall, I think what happened here is I think the professional reviewers hopped in to a more niche audience title, and I think they generally liked what this title was going for, but they maybe weren't clued into the particulars of what that niche audience would like, and that's why you see that gulf between the user ratings and the professional ones. Overall, here's what I'll say. If you throw in a few patches to fix up some of these problems and maybe add in some more modes, because there's not really that much in the way of modes either, then this could be a really, really great Star Wars space combat game. Right now, though, it does.
This is the thing about this title. It's this is exactly what I was feeling from the very get-go before it was released, is that initially it was going to not give everybody everything that it wanted, but has the potential to do so. And, right now, I just don't know if I want to jump on board. I know Erad's saying he's having a wonderful time with it. I know Apollo's saying he's having a good time. I think Soviet is saying he's having a good time. But then I get other people also saying, no way. And, I'm just going to wait. I think I'm just going to wait. And when more content gets pushed to it, then I'll probably try it out. But right now, I think I'm just going to hold off a little bit longer until I see a little bit more from this title. And I think it has the potential to be much more as well. I think what they'll do is they'll fix some of the issues that you're seeing in terms of VR. Although, it's all relative to how much attention EA is going to put into this based upon the revenue they make. Again, going back to the business side of things, if they're not going to be making a lot of money on this, you're not going to see a lot of attention being put towards this. So, and again, perhaps something that Electronic Arts should have thought about before releasing it in the manner in which they did, and with the content that's currently in it. I think when they released it, they knew that they had some of these unpolished portions of the game that would have benefited them to actually have better thought out before it was released. Again, relative to our conversation with Star Citizen and how the patches are rolling out with new places to go to, but yet no gameplay attached to it. And again, this is becoming more and more a theme that we're seeing across the entire industry. If you grew up old school, like some of us in this community, when the game was out, it was hot rod, ready to go, polished, and push the pedal to the metal and let's go, you know?
Does feel like it just needs a little bit more polishing. The HOTAS stuff absolutely needs to be fixed, but broadly speaking, I like what it's going for, and I think it has a lot of potential.
You know, and there we go again, and it's just like, it's insane for me because like I'm hearing that the VR isn't, and then I'm hearing that the VR is good. I'm hearing that the HOTAS isn't, and then I'm hearing the HOTAS is good. I have never seen a title that has like so many wild. It's all convoluted to me. It's not just the reviewers, like Bellular saying, it's not just the reviewers that provided this kind of perception that, you know, yes, they kind of target like a niche audience, it's like he's saying. I do agree there, but I don't think it's just focused, or I don't think it's just that. We're seeing it on a much bigger scale than just the reviewers. We're seeing it with people playing the game. Like it's just all over the map.
Potential. Right now, it is 60% on the Steam user ratings. I think this game really could be more like an 80 once those things are polished up. What's then extremely important to me is what this means for EA, because this is now actually part of a trend, right? This is a different type of EA release as compared to other ones. Now, It is similar to some other EA releases in having a bit of a lack of polish. I mean, the HOTAS stuff really is quite annoying, but let's think about what this game is at least going for, because that's what the EA, like higher-ups, that's the thing they would have signed off on, so it shows their intent. It's a smaller scope game that is a bit more tight in focus, made on a smaller budget, but then sold for a lower price. That seems pretty good to me. I mean, it's a AAA game in a budget package. It does have some single player. It does have multiplayer that's pretty good, and there's no microtransactions. Fundamentally, I am down for more of that. This is a game where they made the game for an audience. Right? It's not trying to be everything at once. It's trying to be something to someone. I think that's really good. Now, EA have seen success with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I think is a game that would appeal to far more people than this one, but it's nice to see that they're actually applying those good lessons over to this game. And that does make you wonder, have EA in any way turned a corner here in their decision making? They have been deservedly the butt of many industry jokes for a long time, but they do seem to be doing better, at least with their core audience offerings. I mean, this is a game with niche appeal that I think ideally was trying to emphasize quality over, quantity, right? Unfortunately, it does have some issues at launch, but in terms of what they're gunning for, I think it's something most of us could actually get behind. And it's here that I want to talk a bit about the rumor mill. So, rumor has it that there is a still unannounced Mass Effect trilogy remaster that's actually been delayed into next year. Now, details are sketchy as hell, but supposedly there are possible quality concerns related to the first game, where Mass Effect 2 and 3 have scaled up kind of beautifully, but Mass Effect 1 just isn't up to snuff right now. Again, it's hard to tell if any of that stuff is true, but it sort of would make sense. I would say, though, any Mass Effect collection would probably sell pretty well if they did a good job of it, and if it is the case that EA are stalling that release, then hey, maybe that's a good thing. Then going past that, there's actually Titanfall 3 rumors that are stemming from the data mining of Apex Legends. Now, if so, that would be great. Titanfall 2 was sadly not a...
All right, he stopped talking about Star Wars Squadrons, and don't get me started with aimbot Legends. The cheating is so bad on the PC version of Apex Legends. I have never seen it more rife with cheating. I literally am referring to Apex Legends as aimbot Legends. Like, please do something about that. It was a game I dig it. But oh my God, you got so many 11-year-olds on there using aimbot that are ready to trigger. I mean, it's just aimbot Legends. It's aimbot Legends. Oh, I can't stand it. And the teaming, don't get me started on the teaming. The teaming is like every single game now. They've got a serious flaw in aimbot Legends. Like, they got some cleaning up to do. It is rampant. It is unplayable. I used to take a lot of time in that game. I used to play that game quite often. I got my fix on, and now I don't even touch it. I don't even touch it anymore. There's no sense in it. You want to get in there and get triggered by an 11-year-old with aimbot? You want to get in there, you want to like get teamed up by like shit. I've seen I've seen teams of 9. Like, I've seen 3 teams teaming. Like that, like, what? It's ridiculous. You guys got to clean it up. Apex is just is unplayable.